I'm recording again, so remember, don't say anything that you wouldn't say in front of your grandmother or Jesus.
Same goes for you, Miss Bishop.
Yeah.
Every day. All right, so this week we are going to look at several different things that caused the expansion to the west. So expansion west means anything past the Mississippi River. Up to this point, the west has been like Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, all of that. Now we've bought the Louisiana Territory. Lewis and Clark went and explored the area, and now we have the potential to move all the way to the Pacific coast. All right. So Transcontinental Railroad is going to come a bit later. There are going to be several different things that lead us out west. This is an overview. One of the big things is there's going to be a lot of free land open for anybody to come and settle. There's going to be the gold rush of California, the Texas Revolution. And then as the Industrial Revolution gets kickstarted, we're going to see the ability to go from one coast to the other. It's going to become easier and easier and easier to get out west. So let's see who all is here. Let me see.
John, Peanut.
Okay, Ian, what do you think increased Western migration according to the map?
According to the map, let me take a look at this map real quick.
Take a look at the map. It's on the screen that is right here.
All right, so since I'm the most qualified here, I guess it would make sense for me to come out here and answer these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me put the screen up a little bit more. So you said something about migration, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Towards
you said.
the
Okay.
west.
So you said what happens to the eastern side of South of Korea? Wait, what did you talk about again?
All right, Ian. Shh. So, what increased Western migration? There's going to be a lot of different things. You can have anything as far as free land written down. You can have anything as far as the promise for something better, the belief that like the grass was greener on the other side kind of belief, or gold rush. All of those are.
I was going to say gold, but you ignored me.
Would the Louisiana Purchase be one of them?
The Louisiana
Yeah.
Purchase is one of them. Very good. Charlie, did you
Can
say
I
you were
just
going to say
say-
gold?
I was going to say gold and land, but you were ignoring me. And can I just say, for the classes that have to watch this and learn off of this, I'm so sorry.
That's pretty fair, actually. All right. I'm going to go back down so that I don't have to watch myself do this. Okay, so which immigrants worked on the Union Pacific Railroad and which group worked on the Central Pacific? That's not answered here. It is answered a little bit
On
later
Google.
All right, what did you find on Google?
Irish and Chinese.
Irish and Chinese. Very good. All right, which one worked on which?
Irish worked on the first one. Chinese worked on the second one.
Very good. All right, where did the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific Railroad meet? Promontory, Utah. And then using prior knowledge, what was an effect of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on the west? That is kind of up to you and what we found. All right, Chinese immigrant laborers on the Transcontinental Railroad. Let's see. I'm gonna go at random. Caitlin, what do you think were two challenges workers faced when building the Transcontinental Railroad?
Why you got Ian's brother up there?
Shh.
Two challenges, like the weather conditions and I don't know, like getting supplies, I guess.
All right, very good. So weather conditions are a good one. Getting supplies out there would have been very, very difficult. Anybody else got another one, potentially?
They had to use dynamite to blow through granite mountainsides.
They did, because the territory out there is ridiculously hard to get through. Charlie, what you got your hand raised for?
I was going to say, well, that was from earlier and I forgot to put it down, but I was going to say limited food supply.
Very good. Okay, limited food supply is another good one. All right. Any of
There-
those Go ahead, Dylan.
There was also Native American attacks.
Yes, there were. Awesome. Good job, you guys. I'm proud of you. Look at that. Hold
How'd I
on.
put down my hand?
Did you put your hand
Just
up?
lower it.
Oh no, yeah, just you got it. There you go. All right. Is this the next slide? This is the problem. Yeah. All right. Plains Indian and the buffalo. The Plains Indians were nomadic. They relied on buffalo for survival. You guys hopefully read all of that, so I'm not going to read it to you. All right. What animal did the Plains Indians depend on for survival? Ian,
Ooh, I got this.
who is I got this? Is that
That
Charlie?
was me.
That was me.
Buffalo.
That was me. Okay, so basically,
Let Ian answer
It's
it.
literally on the screen. It's buffalo.
okay, fine. Go ahead,
very
Charlie. Go ahead,
Very
Charlie.
good.
'Cause
Very
You're
good,
so
Charlie.
smart.
It's
All right.
buffalo.
Buffalo, very good. Okay. Why did the white settlers hunt buffalo? There's 4 reasons. Give us one, Ian.
I can get him again if you need me to, because I know all 4.
All right, Charlie, tell us all 4.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one because I know
Okay.
2. So, one was food. Actually, no, I know 3. One was food. 2, their hides made for good clothing.
Mm-hmm.
To hurt the Native
Yeah.
Americans.
Well, 3, they would capture them and use them later, and also for trading.
Very
Um,
good.
I don't know 4.
All right. Caden got the other one. So they would use them for the meat. They would use them for the hides. They would use them for trade and also for fertilizing. And then they would use them to hurt the Native Americans. All right. How did westward expansion affect the buffalo? How do you think?
The traveling caused many of them to die.
Yes, very good. It almost we actually almost drove them to extinction. There we go. All right, American Cowboy. Based on the picture, what are 2 challenges cowboys faced on a cattle drive?
If it was a small group, uh, it'll be hard to keep hundreds of cattle together and to stop them from wandering off.
Yeah, very
Uh,
good. Wait, let Dylan give one. I think he had one.
Well, you've got to think about there was obviously animals trying to eat the cattle, so they
Very
had
good.
to ward those off as well.
Very good. All right. Based on the picture, what do you think cowboys had to be? What do you think cowboys had to be an expert to move cattle hundreds of miles? That doesn't make any sense.
no, it doesn't.
You
Good
know
job.
what? Skip that one. Skip that one. I don't know what was happening there. Number 3. What are 2 things cowboys wore on a cattle drive?
Like wore on their bodies or like had with them.
Either or.
Hats.
How come Charlie doesn't get muted, but me and Caden do?
I've muted
Well,
Charlie
you-
too. Ian, you want to
For
answer the
real.
question? Answer the question.
What's the question?
Too
What
sexist.
did cowboys what did cowboys wear?
Cowboy hats,
Okay, very good. That's one.
belts with guns on them.
Why would they need a weapon?
Boot.
Cowboy? A cowboy?
Yeah, why would they need a weapon?
Just in case they get a gunfight.
He has a point. They would also need boots. They protect their feet.
Boots
They
with
do
the
protect their
clingers.
feet.
They need clothes so they're not they have clothes and they're not cold or whatever.
Okay, all of those are acceptable answers.
Yeah.
They
That-
need, that hats are the most prominent just to keep the sun off their heads. They did have sturdy boots because just of the wear and tear you get from riding and also from going through on the cattle drives and working with the cattle day in and day out. be pretty exhausting, to be perfectly honest. All right, Homestead Act. According to the certificate, how much land could a homesteader receive if they moved to the Great Plains? Let's get somebody who hasn't talked yet. Daniel, can you type in an answer? I don't know if I can get to the chat from here. Or Daniel, did you do this one? Which side did you do, man?
I think I did the beginning. I think I stopped at around the first question on number 6.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't make you do that one then. Who, shoot. There we go. Dang it. Stop it. Oh my
You gotta
gosh.
turn down your
There we
mic,
go.
my
Okay,
guy. That
I got it.
hurt my ears.
All right.
Drew.
According to the certificate, how much land could a homesteader received if they moved to the Great Plains? Anybody want to answer that one?
160 acres and under.
What 160 acres. All right. According to the excerpt, what is one requirement?
That they have not bared arms against the United States government and given aid and comfort to the enemies.
Yes. Okay. What would bear arms against the government mean?
Means like fight against the government, like for the British or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that would
Wait,
be
no,
exactly
maybe
right.
1700.
But not just for the British, but for fighting with Native Americans against the American government. There had been a few insurrections at this point, so anything if you had never gone against the government, you were good. All right. According to the excerpt, who was not allowed to receive federal land, and who do you think the federal government added? Why do you think the federal government added this to the law? There we go.
Indians.
Why would they be removed?
Because all of the fighting between the Americans, cowboys, and the Indians for land and cattle and such.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. It's also this is getting very close to the Indian Removal Act. All right, we're gonna skip number 5 because the obvious answer is the West.
I guess they got that right. I'm so smart.
Look at you.
So
Context
since
clues.
I answered most of these questions, do I get 100 for this?
Keep going, and then yes. All right,
I
Sod
I
House.
have to turn in the work, so
Yeah, you do have to turn in the work. Sod House of 1896. Why do you think settlers built their homes out of sod? What is sod?
Like grass and dirt and such.
So why would you want to build your house out of sod like that?
Easily degradable, I guess. I don't know if it was easy to make, but you know, kind of like the materials. There aren't many trees and such, and I would think in the desert. So sod is like the easiest material to build with.
There you go. That would be the that would be the best answer for that one. Because materials are scarce, because it is out on the Great Plains, that's just about all there is to make a home out of in that area, unless you brought materials with you. All right. Dawes Act. For this one, hey, skip number 4 because I guess there's supposed to be a picture to it, and for whatever reason, the picture did not get saved. The Dawes Act divided Indian reservations into individual allotments for American Indians. So, what did it do to the Native American tradition of shared property?
I'm gonna pass this one off to Ian because I think he knows.
All right, well, okay, let's think about it this way. If Native Americans had the tradition of sharing property, so it was kind of like, it was almost like the ideal socialistic living. What was one person's was everybody's, and if you could trade for something, you could have it. And there was a real sense of what is best for the community. So if the Dawes Act starts splitting everybody up into individual groups, what is that going to do to their traditions?
Ian?
Come on, Ian.
Yeah.
I think Ian's gone.
What happened? Huh?
Answer
right.
the question.
What was the question?
You know what, y'all think about that one for a bit. We'll circle back around.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
no. Just tell me. Ask me the question now, and I'll answer it.
Well, what did the Dawes Act do to the Native American tradition of shared property?
They couldn't share property.
It dismantled that tradition. Very good. It made it a little bit difficult to do that, and it's supposed to be done in the sense of like assimilating people, but it didn't really work out that way.
Yeah.
What is the goal of the Dawes Act? The goal is to assimilate Native Americans. And
Yeah.
what were the Native Americans expected to do after receiving their plot of land?
Growing crops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They grow crops and living separately from the tribe, so assimilating into U.S. citizenship, I guess. All right, we're gonna go through these next ones super fast because we're almost out of time. So, purpose of Native American boarding schools was essentially to make them make anybody who was Native American assimilate into U.S. culture. That is the main goal: spreading Christianity and assimilating Native Americans. Assimilate means just to kind of make a part of. What are 3 ways boarding schools tried to assimilate Native American children? They gave them Christian names that were the American names. They had to cut their hair, wear clothing that was the same as Americans. They couldn't speak their native language. They were taught Christianity. They were taught that the way of Native Americans was uncivilized and that it was inferior to the culture of uh, the settlers who would come in. All of that works. What were
It sounds
Native
like segregation, but with extra steps.
It is essentially segregation with extra steps. The Native Americans were like almost a constant problem for settlers because the way Native Americans view land is very different from the way that the settlers would view land because with typically in Native American culture, there is this idea of shared property and kind of this inability to really own land, but more to have a say of this is my area. And when settlers came in and said, this is actually my land, like I've purchased it, I've bought it, it's mine, that doesn't really, the 2 cultures kind of clash in that. So they are the constant thorn in the side to settling of the West, and the U.S. Answers very harshly in some very negative ways, very negative ways. And then what were Native American children taught about their culture? That it was inferior to white culture. These kids were like very often abused, and it's not one of the more gracious moments of U.S. history. All right, Battle of Little Bighorn. What caused the Battle of Little Bighorn? Did anybody have the answer for this one?
I didn't get this far.
You didn't get this far? All right. Government made a treaty with the Sioux Indians that said that they could keep the Black Hills, but then they found gold in the Black Hills of South Dakota, and they said, hey, we actually really want that land, so they went to go and get the land. Basically what the U.S. is going to do to the Native Americans over and over and over again. Sioux leader that organized it is Sitting Bull. George Custer, I think his name is in here somewhere. Yeah, there he is. George Custer is going to be the he's a colonel that leads the fight against the Native Americans. His cavalry is going to be extremely outnumbered, and the Native Americans are going to win this fight. It's an important victory because it kind of shows. It showed that the Native Americans could organize, they could come together, and if they did that, it would be more effective against the U.S. government. All right, very last slide, maybe. There we go. Wounded Knee Massacre. What were the Sioux doing that upset the U.S. government? They were practicing a dance called the Ghost Dance. It's something traditional for them. They did believe it would make the white settlers go away. What caused the Wounded Knee Massacre is that the troops it was kind of a big misunderstanding, but it was also an overreaction by the U.S. soldiers. They were trying to get the Native Americans to surrender weapons or something along those lines. Yeah, to surrender weapons because they were freaked out by the Ghost Dance. And then the U.S. troops opened fire on the Native Americans there after a fight had broken out. Happened to the survivors at Wounded Knee. They were sent to a reservation. It officially marks the end of the war between the U.S. government and Native Americans. It's a huge tragedy, and we will talk a little bit more about this. I think we'll talk about it next week is when we talk about it. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta fix that. My OCD can't handle that mess. All right, do you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about all of that info?
How do we turn in the PowerPoint?
Very good question. Go over here to Gallery Walk and submit it here. So if you go to February, click on February, click that first folder, and Gallery Walk. If you guys did it as a group, you can turn it in with all of your names on it. If you did it separately, type in your name and then put it in. If you just did your section, that's fine. Just type in your name and put it, submit it here to Gallery Walk. No, wait, that's Wednesday. Wednesday's a B day. We will have a short meeting on Thursday. But what we are doing for Thursday is this Manifest Destiny thing right here. I'm going to move these two to next week's work, and you will be responsible for the Unit 5 vocabulary and this Nearpod, which I'll explain on Thursday and Friday. All right, sound good?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, there's something in the chat.
Yeah.
Ian and Charlie, I'm turning in our PowerPoint.
All right. You guys have a great afternoon. And I will see you guys on Thursday.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No proof.
Proof.
Ms. Bishop,
What's
See ya.
up?
did you see my group me
Bye.
message?
You know, my group me keeps screwing up. Like, I'll see that it comes up on my phone, and then when I try to enter into the app, it says that I don't have any notifications.
Oh, well, my mom put my packet in the front desk area thing.
The front desk area thing.
Hold on. The box in the front office or something.
Okay. See, and I got Ian's messages without any problem, but I still don't have anything from you. It's so weird.
Oh, well, it's there. Okay, goodbye.
All right. Have a good one, Caden.
You too.
Oh, he's already gone. All right, you guys, I am going to end this meeting.
All right, have a good day.
You too, Evan. Take it easy, man. See ya, Aurora. Oh.